You don't have to see it. You can sit down. And you can take a nap after. All right, y'all. This is Tre Morgan, and the floor is open for questions.
Trey, David from Rivals.com. How much, you've been with Dylan, one of the talk coming out of fall camp. How much fun have you had? And just talk about the adjustment. Has it been easier or harder than you thought from Brother Martin to Division I college baseball?
Well, coming from Brother Martin to here, the workload was definitely much more, but it really wasn't more than I expected. I expected to come here and have to work, but it's been fun having to adjust from practicing for 3 hours to practicing to 6 hours a day. So the workload's been a lot.
Yeah, Trey, Ron Higgins, Tiger Rag magazine. You missed your entire, senior season with the injury. What was the injury, and how that motivate your preparations for this year to finally start playing again?
The injury, I tore my UCL partially. It wasn't a complete tear, so I didn't need complete reconstruction. They just put a little brace inside my elbow to keep it in place. But, wait, what was the next part of the question?
Obviously you had a long time to get ready for this season. How did that motivate you? The rehab and then this past summer to come in just totally ready to play.
Oh, right. The night that injury, I was told what happened to me, it kind of hit me hard, but me and my dad talked about it. We knew that we had to get back to work, to get back to the player that I was and that I needed to be to compete at this level.
Trey, Wilson Alexander from The Advocate. Pleasure to meet you. Following up on that, was it right in your throwing elbow, and how does that feel now? Because it looked like you weren't able to throw during fall practice.
Yes, it was in my throwing elbow. But during the fall, the first couple of weeks I was throwing, it felt great. But then a sudden ramp up in the work kind of tweaked it a little bit. So I just sat out the rest of the fall from throwing. But now that I came back, I got on a throwing program over the Christmas break. Now it's completely back to normal.
Trey, Coach has talked about, Jacques Doucet from Channel 9, by the way, here in Baton Rouge. Coach has talked about putting you and Dylan Cruz in some critical batting spots, as true freshmen. Can you talk about, getting that kind of responsibility as a true freshman?
Really, it's an honor that he thinks of us so highly. But we know that when he puts us in these spots, we have to go in there and do damage. We can't just go up there and act like freshmen, really. We have to go up there and play to his expectations.
Hey, Trey, obviously, this is Glenn Wetz with LSU Country. Just, you've made the move over to first base. That was a prime position for Cade Beloso the last couple of years. I'm wondering if you've picked Cade's mind at all about playing the first base position, at the college level, just kind of maybe what he's told you. And then also just kind of what has been the veteran presence on this team, just how much information are these guys giving you on a daily basis?
Oh, me and Cade have been friends for years, since high school. So when I came here, we talked a lot. He gave me techniques that they do here that I wasn't really accustomed to. But really, our friendship really helped him talk to me and tell me exactly what I needed to do to play first base the way that I'm supposed to here.
Sorry, just a quick follow-up on that. Is there any example maybe you can give me on that? Just kind of what are some of the things that you maybe learned from him or have kind of picked his brain about at this level?
Yeah, it was moving around the bag. When here, they don't want me standing straight up when I'm on the bag ready to receive a throw. The further the throw gets, the more I can stand straight up. But the closer the throw is, I have to squat down a little bit to be ready to move left and right and pick balls and jump.
Hey, Trey, this is Ed Daniels in New Orleans. How long would you say you have been preparing for this moment? When did you first think about coming to LSU and playing baseball?
Ever since I was in the travel ball circuit, me and my dad had this dream, me, my dad, and my mom, that not a lot of people really thought was achievable, but it only mattered that we thought it was achievable.
So you heard a lot of naysayers when it came to that?
Well, they didn't really talk to me about it. It was just discussions with my dad. He told me that people really, what they were saying, and how we had to prove them wrong, but how we had to stay inside our circle to prove them wrong, not talk to them, just show them on the field.
Thank you.
Yeah, Trey, Ron Higgins, Tiger Rag Magazine. But some of the things that people were saying, was it like maybe they thought you'd be better at other sports than baseball?
Well, coming from New Orleans, baseball isn't really the talk of the city. It's usually football and basketball, but we went the baseball route. So yeah, they asked why am I playing baseball? But when we picked baseball, we just worked every day at it.
Did you have like coaches in high school or junior high or whatever say, you know, football and basketball coaches, are you coming out? You're going to play for the team? Did you have that?
No, by the time I got to junior high and middle school, they knew I was a baseball player because of travel ball, so they didn't really question me about that.
One last question. What makes you such a good fielder? Everybody raves about your glove work. Is that something you've worked really hard on, or is it kind of a little bit of natural ability also?
No, me and my dad have been working on my glove since I was about 4 years old. He'd back up to shortstop and throw picks at me as hard as he could. And then when I take ground balls, he'd go to home plate and hit the ball as hard as he could at me, no matter how old I was. So that's really helped me.
Hey Trey, this is Bree from LSU Tiger TV. So like you being a freshman and getting that starting spot at first base, and Coach Maneri and your teammates have all raved about you, saying like this kid is insane, so talented. So like how does that like boost your confidence and make you just game ready and get your head in the game and have that confidence going into opening night 3 weeks?
I mean, of course it makes me feel good reading stuff like that, but I really haven't proved anything yet because we haven't played a game. So I need to go out there and do it on the field when it really counts.
Trey, I think Coach Maneri talked about how first base is not always viewed as a tremendous defensive position, right? But he says in your case it might be different. I'm just curious, what is your take on playing first base and how you impact the game defensively in that spot?
Well, like my dad used to always say, 85% of the balls come to first base. Like whether it's a ground ball that has to throw or the catcher having to drop their strike throwing it to first base. So your first baseman has to be able to catch it no matter where it is.
Trey, sort of a random question. Have y'all been able to use the new virtual hitting lab, and what's it like being in there using that virtual reality to try to prepare?
No, we actually have not been able to use that yet because of COVID. I've just only seen it on my visit.
Okay.
Let's see. Jessica, do you still have a question for Trey?
Yeah, I do. So Trey, coming into LSU as a true freshman, is there added pressure with all the hype around you, or is it more of just a fun, let's get after it type of feel?
I mean, of course, there's a little pressure coming in, but you don't come to LSU not looking for the pressure. You got to accept that to be able to play in front of big crowds and big games and achieve what you're supposed to achieve when you're here.
Okay, any other questions for Trey? All right, Trey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, our next